You are now tuned in to the From Earth podcast with your host, Julius from Earth. Check us out on any of the major digital streaming platforms or on our website at FromEarthPodcast.buzzsprout.com. And as always, thank you for tapping in. All right, here we go. Episode 59 of the From Earth podcast. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
Doing all right. How you doing out there?
B, how you doing, B?
Santa, yeah.
Meeks was really good. Meeks,
I'm here.
you here?
Yep.
We glad to have you back.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming back.
Thank you for having me.
Nah, we had to have you back.
Yeah, we did.
It was non-negotiable.
Nah.
It was non-negotiable. I want you to know that.
Why do I? Okay.
Because
You had to be here, man.
Yeah, you had to be here.
To.
We had to make sure that we brought the entire gang here.
Yeah.
So that we could just we can do what we do.
Okay.
As we do how we do.
Which is bring all the smoke.
He's funny.
They set you up.
Nah.
It ain't no setup. Nah, it's not a setup. It's not a setup. I promise you it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a fun one. Like I said, let me just go ahead and introduce the pod. This is episode 59 of the From Earth podcast, and I am your host, Julius from Earth, here with the homie Esoteric.
How y'all doing?
B. Davis.
Yeah, what's going on?
And Meeks is in the building.
Hey.
So, because we got the whole gang here, let's go right into it, yo. No. We're gonna keep. I'm gonna keep it nice. I'm gonna keep it nice. How was everybody's Thanksgiving? Last week was Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
How was everybody's holiday? Let me not use the term Thanksgiving as that could be deemed to be offensive,
culturally inappropriate, sir.
Offensive to some.
Happy Colonizer Day.
Facts, yo.
See, we don't got to do all that.
Yes,
Why not?
We don't got to do all that. We don't got to do all that.
You chose violence today. Okay.
All right. Well, everybody's holiday was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got the opportunity to spend time with your loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
If you call it y'all.
Well, that's where. Listen, that's where I'm going with it. That's where I'm going with it because
I guess.
I suppose.
So I'll start. I'll go with me. Right. So it was a rough one for me.
Okay.
This one was a rough one for me. This was literally my first holiday like that.
Aww.
Like without being around my family, without being around my kids.
Aww.
Right. So I ain't trying to take it dark and deep and you're not gonna do none of that. But I'm saying because I remember on that day I was like, yo, I'm tired, I'm drained.
Yeah.
Right.
And I couldn't really figure out why I was feeling like that.
Mm.
It hit me. I think it hit me on the weekend.
Your emotions.
Yeah, I was like, yo, it was a tough one. It was a tough one, man.
I didn't realize you weren't with your kids that day.
Nah, I wasn't.
I didn't realize it.
I wasn't. I was not with my kids. I spent time around here, cleaning, cooking, doing that kind of the domestic stuff.
Right.
Trying to fill up my day and not focus on where I was versus where I wanted to be.
Right.
And then we had the Friendsgiving later on that evening, which was a good time. We ate really well.
Oh,
yeah, we
I should have brought some of that food.
Ate really well.
Should have.
Still have another 3 months left.
Shout out to the cook.
Shout out to the cook.
Yeah.
The coquito was hitting.
Yeah.
Facts.
It was doing its thing.
3 bottles still left.
It was giving what it was supposed to give.
Yes, it was.
But all together, like outside of not actually physically being with my kids on that day, it was a good day overall. I was just drained, and once I was able to finally process it out and realize what it was like, okay, all right.
You know what topped it off though?
What's up?
Some pie.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Needed that.
Yeah, man. I dropped the ball on that, man. I dropped the ball, but it was it was a hectic time.
You had a lot going on.
My head was somewhere else.
You had a lot going on.
Yeah, my head was somewhere else, man. It wasn't where it was supposed to be.
So the real version of the story that I got from what he's trying to explain was, yeah, it's the first time I don't have my kids, so I'm relaxing today. I'm relaxing. That's relaxed.
I said I was relaxing. Did I use that phrase?
You just said relaxed.
I used that term?
Yes, you did, sir.
I may have, but listen. Listen.
I was like, yeah, you said no.
When I'm in my feelings, all right, sometimes I say things to kind of cover up.
Going forward, I need a breathalyzer test from you.
Wait, what? I heard over here and then B. What'd you say?
I'm just saying you always in your feelings, bro.
I knew. See, that's why I hope you paid attention. I paid attention to topic number 2 in the notes.
I didn't. You know I don't. Like, why? I don't. We go through this every week.
Well, let me read it out to you.
Yeah.
Here we go. Why men can't be emotional. The answer is because at B Davis Project won't allow it. That's the answer.
I didn't say no.
Come on.
We need to get to that topic.
Come on.
Go ahead.
All right, but listen, we did it like Thanksgiving, Colonizer Day, whatever you call it. It came, it passed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for the end of the year. Let that thing do what it do, and let's move forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not focusing on holidays right now. We got to get to some of the other things that we got going on. Ghislaine Maxwell trial started.
Oh,
Y'all remember Ghislaine? Ghislaine, Ghislaine.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Me's looking like, what are you talking
Her
about?
name. No, her name. I was like, her name is.
Yeah. So she was the
right-hand woman.
the sidekick.
I was
Yeah,
the right-hand woman.
yeah.
That's the ringleader.
To Epstein, probably.
Just Epstein's name.
The
on it.
madam,
She was
I guess?
Yeah, I
she
guess.
was the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something.
I don't know.
But
She was the fixer or whatever. it is.
yeah,
Yeah, she would round them all up. You know what I'm saying? She would go get them and bring them back.
which is
Terrible.
what it is, right? You
Yeah.
know, she ain't the first. She ain't gonna be the last.
Right.
You know, we would like it to be
She was
that
the
way.
groomer.
Yeah.
But yeah, her trial started, and other monopoly moves were made, chess moves were made
Mm-hmm.
that we don't really have to get into. Just when you start paying attention to CEOs stepping down from positions, people walking away from prominent roles.
You think that's related, bro?
At the same time,
You think that's related?
I don't think it's a coincidence.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it's coincidence.
It's like with the state.
And it may not necessarily be directly tied to the trial, but when you start talking about people in power, and matter of fact, I'll give you an example. So I know y'all didn't watch the show Dope Sick on Hulu,
Nah.
which I watched, which was cool. But it kind of laid out exactly how stuff like this happens. People can go and make billions of dollars, make as much money, and don't care how people are affected. You know, with the show Dope Sick was the creator of OxyContin.
Mm-hmm.
For all these years working with the FDA to get specialized labels and everything, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then finally, when the rubber started to hit the road, when the heat started to heat up, my man just like stepped down from his position,
Right.
put somebody else in that position, distanced himself. It's very similar to what you're starting to see around with these large companies, corporations now, where people are starting to like step down, step away from these roles, these executive roles. So I don't find it to be, me personally, I don't find it to be coincidental. That's where I'm at with that. I don't have to say no names, but we can get into it if you want to.
We say names, bro. Who cares? What they gonna do? They step down. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying. But that was just, I didn't think it was a coincidence.
Well, there's also part of the fact that the market is crashing like tremendously right now. So a lot of that could be tied into prominent positions just not being able to, combat what's going on. Maybe it's coincidental, maybe it's not, but there's other factors that potentially could lead to that as well. So just throwing that out there.
Listen, I don't even find markets crashing, movement or anything like that to be coincidental. I think it's all tied together. But that's just a conspiracy
theory.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's just a conspirator's brain. Like that's kind of what it is.
My left, you sit my right.
I didn't see that, right? Like I didn't take it that way. And I guess if you look at the overview of people stepping down, last few months, you got Bezos stepping away from Amazon, right? You got Dorsey stepping away from Twitter just this week, and I looked at the Twitter move and I thought to myself, Twitter was a struggling platform before 2016. You know what I mean? Like Twitter was really worrying about, how they were going to fund themselves, how they were going to find new revenue streams and all that kind of stuff. It just so happens we got a guy in the president's office that helped out their platform tremendously as far as engagement is concerned.
Absolutely.
Right. And so that kind of extended their shelf life for a little bit. And so I wonder if this is just a timed move because now they're like, well, where do we go from here?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the next big move? I mean, obviously they got Twitter Blue and all that kind of stuff for revenue, but who knows what the impact of that is going to be? So I wonder if it was just a time moving to that. Remember, he's still the CEO of Square. right?
Yeah.
Which just changed their name to Block today.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not like he's not out the game, right? These guys aren't out the game. Like Bezos isn't out the game. He still has Blue Origin, Washington Post, like all the other stuff that he owns, boards that they sit on and stuff like that. So I didn't see that part as being tied in. Everybody's trying to tie everything to this. And I think that there's going to be so many people tied to it in general that these type of moves ain't really like. I don't think this is going to shield anybody, right?
Yeah.
Like they already tried to drag Jay-Z into it.
Well, you're gonna.
You know what I'm saying?
I think as you go along, you're going to start to hear more and more names.
Yeah.
And you're going to start to hear more and more conspiracy theories, right?
Right.
That's just the natural way that these things kind of go.
Exactly.
That's going to happen. But I like I said, maybe I'm taking it a little too far. Maybe I'm just going a little too far with it. But
it's not just you.
I don't know that it's 100% disconnected altogether.
Right. Now somebody else hit me with this earlier today as they was going, oh, Jay-Z, he was on the plane, they got Jay-Z involved, and I'm like, he posted I guess some court documents or something like that, and I was like, this was from an earlier trial that got dismissed back in August. You know what I'm saying? I think last year actually, because the judge was like, there's no legal basis for this to go forward. Somebody just sued Maxwell and like 40 other people, and Jay-Z's name was on the list as well. So people were trying to make it out to be like, oh, Jay-Z's involved in this and yada, yada, yada. And you got to see what's going on. And I'm like, or you could just Google the court documents.
You're right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, as much as I love a conspiracy, listen, I love a good conspiracy, but I got to see things tie together a little bit more for myself before I can jump down the rabbit hole. Because some things are actually able to be explained.
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah. That's thank you for tying that up. That's a good way to put it. That, yeah, if you really want to find out, you can find out. It's out there to be found out.
Yeah. Like some of this information is actually out there.
I got you. I feel you on that. I guess another thing that's been going on recently, we were talking, if we're going to stick with the whole media thing, we got, Chris Cuomo. Being removed from his position at CNN or suspended indefinitely from his position at CNN after, I guess, being accused of utilizing his journalistic resources to get some insider information that could or would potentially help his former governor brother. And like I said, man, all of these things going on right now, just kind of appear to be a little bit of a what do you call that? A sleight of hand, a deflection, if you will.
Oh yeah,
we talked about this before. I don't think that the timing of any of this is coincidental, right? Now, but we can get into the Cuomo story if you want to.
Yeah.
Because you look like you want to get into it, baby.
Meeks, how you feel about that?
Really don't follow that.
All right, cool. Meek's like, I'm not here for this.
So I'm gonna tell you my personal thoughts on this is I don't really understand why people are mad about it. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's for that part of it. That's why I was like, this is
his brother. For the Cuomo situation, I'm like, this is his brother.
Yeah, like that's his brother. What do you expect?
What was he supposed to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So as I stated earlier, that I feel like people are up in arms about it because he's utilizing the access that he has in a method that would really only benefit one person.
Cry me a fucking river. Who wouldn't?
Right?
I think it's just the thing of wanting to have an issue with a Cuomo because you know what I mean? Like it's like they wanted to get them on one aspect and they didn't get them on that one. So it's like let's just throw the spaghetti against the wall and see what sticks.
Right.
Well, listen, I'm not suggesting that every individual person abuses their position or their authority or whatever. I'm not suggesting that. What I am saying is that when you start getting higher up in levels, I think it becomes a little bit more prevalent because you can have there can be a tendency to kind of turn a blind eye to what's really going on over here. Journalism is a major key of what happens here in America, right?
Right.
Investigative research, all that stuff. That's why TMZ is crazy big, and all these other outlets, right? These people utilize their access you can maybe even term it abuse their access all the time to get the scoop, to get the stories that they get to be able to break these things. Right. I think that the issue with this, and this is just me, spitballing here, but I think that people just have a stink because it is the Cuomo's.
Absolutely, bro. I think, when you're talking about the sleight of hand, right? I think in this particular instance, see, the thing about a conspiracy theory is it's not so much as what's happening, it's what are they covering up?
Yeah, that's
right. Like what is it that they don't want you to notice? Exactly. Right. And I think the issue here is 2024. I think the progressive wing of especially New York Democratic Party does not want to see Cuomo get any more shine than he got during the pandemic. Right. The fact that he was on TV all the time, the fact that he had a national audience all the time because of how he handled the pandemic in New York, the good things and the missteps, right? Because he made some mistakes too, but he had a national audience for it, right? And that brought a lot of shine to them. And I think there's a lot of people on that progressive side that were like, yo, we can't let this runaway train start now. Nobody else is going to be able to catch up by 2024. And I think that's really what was the big, because honestly, like most people in New York, I don't think they really cared about most of the Cuomo situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the average person really didn't care a whole lot about what was going on, right? And they tried to push this through mainstream media and stuff like that to get national attention on it, to make people care. But like the citizens there, they ain't give a fuck.
Yeah, they ain't care.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think this is about. I think this is about trying to dirty him up for 2024 so they can keep the slate clean for, whoever they think they want to put in. But as we just saw with New York's the election they just had, like they're not as progressive as what they talk about based on the guy they just voted in as mayor.
Okay.
So
all right. So that's our piece on politics. All right. For the YouTube crowd, I don't want everybody running away from what we got going on.
My bad.
No. It's cool. Because I promise you,
that's it.
You go back through all of our episodes, and you'll hear plenty of this. Right? What we're trying to do now, we're trying to make sure that we hit talking points that can be searchable, but at the same time, to stay relevant, right? I guess the last thing we'll talk about, we don't even have to talk about, I just want to say R.I.P. Virgil Abloh.
Yeah.
He passed, what was it, 2 days ago now?
Yeah.
From cancer.
Yeah.
And Virgil was a creator, basically. Worked with Louis V and very very creative.
Yeah.
Partnered with some Nike stuff recently, but has been just an artist for a long time.
Yeah.
So that's kind of sad, but at the same time, if there's ever any way to go, it's to go how you want to go out, right?
Right.
Without a whole bunch of people thinking that they're contributing to your.
Yo, can we talk about unnecessary Twitter slander for a moment?
Yes.
Especially as it relates to Virgil, right? Because I think it was the Pop Smoke posthumous album or something like that he did the cover for.
Yeah.
And people were slandering this man left and right. You know what I'm saying? This design is horrible. His clothes ain't even that hot. Yada yada, going in on him. And then 2 days ago, it's R.I.P. I can't believe this hat. Like, some of y'all look real stupid, slandering people for no reason just to be R.I.P. boo-hooing and shit when they actually die.
Well, isn't that what people do?
Yeah, but it's wild to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand why put all the negativity out there just for likes. Right? Like, just to bandwagon jump because somebody else said they didn't like something or whatever. Like, you're going to put all that out there, but then when the person dies, then it's, I can't believe this happened. Gone too soon.
I mean, that's kind of how conversations get generated. You got to throw a little slander out there to get people going, talking.
Because negativity sells, right?
Exactly.
Negativity leads and all that. And I get that, but I just feel like sometimes it's too much.
But it's a bigger. Let's take a step back and let's look at it just overall. Like, I think the same thing happened with people were talking about Chadwick Boseman.
Yep.
They were clowning him for his appearance. Before him passing and them finding out that he was battling cancer for such a long time. And you thought at that time that people would learn their lesson then,
right?
To leave people alone.
Yeah.
based on what their looks were or whatever.
Yeah.
And then now with Virgil's passing, you start looking at all of the work he was doing in his last days,
right?
All of the partnerships he was making,
right?
All of the contributions he was giving, right? And you're like, man, this man knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah.
He did it. I mean, to me, that's kind of fearless. Like, he did it in the face of people just slandering him constantly,
right? For no reason.
For no reason. For no whatever their people for whatever their reasoning was, which I don't think it was justifiable, but whatever. But he did it anyway. He didn't let that stop him.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes into what I was saying as far as like being able to go out on your terms. I don't know that anybody necessarily just wants to be like, I'm dying at 40, oh well. But if you don't have a choice to say whether you can survive longer, live longer or not, live the way that you want to live longer or not, being able to do as much as you can do in your final days. And so for that, I commend him. I commend the people close to him for keeping that thing, tight to the vest and just continuing to support him privately, the way that I'm assuming that they did for this to be able to come out, I guess, in such an appropriate fashion. Right. And not to have TMZ drop this.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
Because that would have been nasty. Yeah. That would have been ugly. Because remember how TMZ did Kobe?
Yeah. Oh, what?
Right? It was nasty, man. Just the videos and everything. And it was like, yo, this man, like, y'all know who this man is. He's a cultural icon.
Right.
And you can't even let the rollout to his passing come out to be like in a professional manner.
Right.
Like, it's got to come out where y'all
it's whoever can get the scoop. That's who gets paid.
And
that's what I mean. Like
Denzel was talking about at that time.
That's exactly what Denzel was talking about. But that's and so here we go again. Investigative research, cameras, journalism, all that stuff. Who can get the story first and push it out, right? But when Cuomo, all right, we're done. We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. I have a hypothetical question. No, this is not the wingman topic. We're not doing the wingman topic yet. But we're gonna get to that. But I have a question because I was wondering, I was like, part of the conversation we've been having the past couple of weeks was talking about relationships, right?
Yeah.
And I was wondering if anybody on this platform ever finds it okay to lie to your significant other for any purpose or any reason. I know, it's a funny question, but the reason that I brought it up... What'd you say?
It's an honest question.
It is an honest question. And I'm bringing it up. I'm bringing it to the forefront because I'm thinking, as the conversation was going with compromise versus sacrifice last week, and as the conversation was going a few weeks ago, when you were here last time, like how real and honest are we when we're in relationships and, somebody wants us to do some things that we may not necessarily want to do, or go places we don't want to go, or listen to stories that we don't necessarily care about. I don't want to start getting into like the compromise versus sacrifice conversation again. I'm just curious how you feel on telling little white lies to keep the peace in your relationship. Anybody want to kickstart the conversation?
Yeah, go ahead, me.
No.
Do you ever Meek, do you ever think it's okay to lie to your significant other?
I will say sometimes I feel like you have to know your spouse. Like sometimes a delay in information might not be considered lying. But if I tell you this right now in this moment, it's not gonna be beneficial to anybody. Like, for example, my husband, he has a very quick temper. Yeah, so there's two things that I know. One is I know I can't go off as well because who's going to keep who calm? So
we know how your mouth is. So.
Well, yeah. So like I know, I'm just saying. So,
that ain't going to de-escalate the situation.
Yeah. So when he goes, I try my best to be like, okay, let me diffuse, let me bring in. So I know I don't tell him certain stuff. Even like with our daughter, I'm very cautious of the way I bring it to him. I'm not a fan of having to lie to him. Sometimes I do it in the moment, but I will go back and tell him like afterwards.
So the short answer to your question is
yes. Women lie all the time in relationships.
We don't lie all the time.
That's exactly what you said.
No, that's not what I said.
That's what I heard. Chicks be lying.
No, but sometimes
This is why it's hard to be a good man out here.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm saying? This is exactly why.
No, but sometimes if I do have to like skirt around the truth.
Mm-hmm.
When it's an appropriate time, I will say to him like, "All right, well, babe, just okay." And being completely transparent, babe, I did do a, and fill him in, and then sometimes he's.
All right, we're gonna come back to that. We're gonna come back to that.
I'm so disheartened by this.
Oh boy!
Excuse me, Mr. Angel B.
That's right.
Do you?
I'm gonna say this guy.
In your experience, have you ever found it to be beneficial or the best option to lie to your significant other in order to keep the peace?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we all grown here, right? Like, sometimes you got to restate the truth. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to say things in a different manner. You know, and you can call it a lie if you want. I prefer to call it living in positivity. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you just got to state things in a way that's not harmful, but still gets your point across, right? Like, I don't want to tell you, that dress is ugly. I don't want to tell you that, but I might say, oh, I like that, but you could have gotten a different color or something. I don't know. Like, there's a way to soften certain things somehow. You know what I mean? Like, you don't just got to come out, because not everybody's built for that. And you know me, my mouth. Listen, bro.
Yes, we know how you are too.
I just say stuff. So like, it takes a lot for me to like not say something in the moment as I'm thinking and feeling it. You know what I mean? Like to sit back and craft what I want to say. But hey, man, sometimes you got it. Nobody wants to hurt anybody's feelings.
Sometimes it be like that.
Sometimes it be like that, bro. You like, if you're in a relationship, you don't want to hurt the person's feelings, right? But you still have to get the point across. So you might not just say it in the most direct manner that you can, but you still got to get around to saying it somehow, right?
All right.
So if that's a lie, I mean,
all right,
maybe.
I'm keeping tabs here.
Yeah.
I'm keeping tabs. So right now we have 2 for yes.
Yeah. Oh, we about to have 4 for yes if y'all keeping it real. Because if you come on here and say you never lied in your relationship, bro.
Let's go. Let's go. Nah. Don't act like you know where I'm going with this. All right, SO.
So, is it okay to lie to your significant other and or spouse or whatever?
Yeah, he is.
No, what I'll say is this. Is it okay? No, it's not okay. Do we? Yes, we do. Here's the issue. Truth hurts, right? That's what you're saying, basically. Is you don't want to deal with the other end of that stick because you know it's probably to come a bigger argument besides the truth itself. So I don't not tell the truth. I just kind of I disregard the fact how you're going to receive it now at this point. Okay. Because if you want me to
negative, you don't not.
What? Yeah.
No, I'm messing. Go ahead. My
what I'm saying is basically is like I have to get past the point of what costs us more in this, right? Me telling you the truth and you getting upset, or me lying to you. If you can't deal with the truth, then you're forcing me to lie to you going forward at any given aspect. So it's better to build a foundation on truth and you just being salty for that minute. At least you know going forward, this person's never going to lie to me, or the other way around. You're always skating, you're wondering, you're doubting, you're doing all these things. If you ask me if you look fat in a dress and say, well, yes, you do, don't get mad. Then don't ask the question next time. You know what I mean? Like, know better. Know better. Know your audience. That's what I'm saying. Know your audience. And that's the issue. I think we know our audience so well that we choose to make the decisions that we choose to, whether we do or don't lie to them. Yeah. So, it's nobody sits here. We could safely say the 4 of us sitting here, nobody wants to lie to their spouse or any significant other or anybody. But do we? Of course we do.
All right, so
I'm hoping we're talking about things of like inconsequential means.
Yeah, absolutely,
right? We're not talking about like big things.
No. We're talking.
Damn, I don't know where that 10 G's went. I have no idea. That's crazy. We must have got robbed. Like, we're not talking about like that type of stuff.
I mean, depending on what you got with the 10 G's, I don't know. That might be justifiable. You feel me? I don't know.
Hookers and blow.
There's the truth.
Truth hurts. All right. So I'm keeping a tally. We got 3 yeses to lying is okay
Yeah.
to keep the peace, right?
Yeah. Go ahead and be that guy and claim you never lie in your relationship. Go ahead.
That would be an absolute lie. That would be a lie. I would be lying to you guys right now if I told you I've never lied in my relationship.
Perfect.
The issue that I have with it, though, the issue that I have with lying in a relationship is that we're doing it for reasons that we deem to be, we don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. We know that it's easier to just get this off right now and come back to what the actual truth is later, right? And part of the issue that I have is I don't necessarily like lying in general, right?
Yeah.
And the truth of it for myself is that over the past couple of years, I found myself doing it much more frequently and openly than ever before in the past, which really bothers me. It eats at me. And so you and I are close. So you know exactly how I feel when it comes to not being able to be 100% truthful in things that I do. All right. So when I say lying to significant others, I know that was one example that I give, right?
Yeah.
I think that a part of that for me is everybody kind of being self-aware in a relationship just in general. Like you said, Meeks, if you know your significant other is quick to the temper, maybe softening the blow for them up front might be the most reasonable approach, as opposed to having to throw hands or whatever. Not saying that that's what happens in your household.
Blink twice.
No. I'm not suggesting that at all. And just like B was saying, although I do think that B would be the one to run off with 10 G's. I think that he would be the one.
And he did spend on
Yeah, and be like, on hook and bluff. Yeah.
So the truth is there.
But you know what's crazy is I would probably say it up front. Just
like, I took the 10K.
Yeah, like this is what I'm about to do. Like, you know what I mean? Because I say wild shit.
But kind of coming back to what I was saying, like, I think that there's a matter of self-awareness. Like Esso, the example that you gave. Hey, do I look fat in this dress? Like you said, don't ask me if you don't want me to tell you the truth. Like, I will tell you, no, you look beautiful in that dress. But if the reality of it is that you probably could have shirked 10 pounds before getting it or whatever, you can't just come out. You have to say something that's not so harsh and aggressive. That's us talking to women, right?
Yeah,
but if we reverse it, right? Because it's 3 guys up here and then there's me over here.
Yeah.
Like, if we reverse it and our significant others are lying to us to maintain our ego or not hurt our feelings.
Happens all the time, bro.
I know, but what I'm saying is that
when she tells you you're the best, you're probably 6th on the list.
Times two. Yeah. But that's where I guess that's kind of where I'm going with this, right? What I'm saying is that we all understand that sometimes it's easier just to sugarcoat it a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like when you're giving your pet like a pill or something that they don't necessarily want to take. You got to put that thing a little bit of peanut butter for them or something.
Right.
So that it goes down a little easier.
Yeah.
They still going to get it.
Yeah.
They still going to get it. I don't know. We can keep it going with the relationship stuff because that's exactly why we brought Meek back. But I do want to say, I do want to give Meek an opportunity to maybe like panel us a little bit because I know this is only your second time here. We've been doing this for a minute, right? So I wanna toss it over to you and see if there's anything about us that you want to find out live here on the pod.
Oh my God, bro, what are you doing?
I'm
who said this was okay?
I'm opening the floor.
What is happening?
You have another bottle.
Yo, facts.
I'm opening the floor to Meek. Meek,
what up?
This is your opportunity. You know what I mean? To get familiar with the fellas.
Okay.
And we're gonna know that white lie.
I'm trying to think. Well, I know that you guys are related, brothers, right?
Correct.
Okay.
B and I.
And then
Jules,
your friends. Okay. So, what is like the purpose in you guys together? Y'all just always arguing and debating. So you said let's just put it on wax, or?
We never had a purpose when it came to the argument itself. This was something that was what I'm saying is basically like this was Jules' idea from day one.
Okay.
It's been my man since forever, and I've always been the kind of guy like whatever you do, I'm gonna help you with. Whatever your vision is our vision. You know? So I supported him since that point. he was an accident that came up.
Not an accident.
Pretty much.
Episode 4.
Pretty much, yeah.
Nah, but B was a great addition to a void we were trying to fill at the time. And it was, I think, a little bit after episode 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was.
That's where I was personally introduced to him. Didn't even know he had a brother. I thought I was technically Julius's only brother at this point. Here comes this light skin.
Yeah, and for anybody who may be looking for episode 4, I deactivated that episode.
Really?
Really?
I did. I deactivated the episode after going back and listening to it. I'm not even going to tell you what the title of that episode was.
What was the title?
It was a rough one. That was a rough one.
Yeah,
that was a rough one. So we don't have to rehash it on the mic.
Right.
I'm about to say,
but if you're
look for it,
if you're looking for it now,
listen to it. Like,
you're not going to find it. I will suggest episode 7. I will suggest. No, I'm just joking. But now, what just like B and SO said here, that the purpose of the podcast in general was for myself to have an outlet, right?
Gotcha.
And SO was one of the first people I went to when I thought about it, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm with you, no matter what." We did have a couple other people who were initially in the mix, but I think that the mix that we had, the three of us had, made a little bit more sense for what we're doing on the podcast.
Okay,
you feel me? B coming on, B. I don't know how to say this without like. I'm not trying to gas him. I'm not trying to gas him. But like him, like
with the cape.
it changed the dynamic of what we were doing.
Okay.
Just immediately.
Gotcha.
It changed the dynamic, and I was like, that's a much more pure fit, much more organic type of conversation that we're able to have.
That's cool.
You know, and then we've been rocking out like this for a long time, and I've been getting a lot of feedback. People like, we're tired of hearing 3 dudes, expostulate on things that they don't have any business talking about. So I was like, we gotta find another mic, somebody else to come in here and and really take this thing to the next level. Enter yourself. You feel me?
Thank you. Yeah, no, I called you that time when I was like, George, you got a podcast? Didn't know you had one. Heard about it. I said, okay. I was definitely interested, but I thought it was like sports. And, because I used to block y'all out in the office when y'all would get started. They would just, for hours and hours. And I'm like, these dudes don't even know this.
This is why we don't do sports.
That's exactly why we don't do sports.
Exactly why.
Because it gets ugly. It gets heated.
Yeah.
It does get heated.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have a troll amongst us. Yeah, so
wait, who are you talking? Who are you saying is the
I'm gonna say one of the two of y'all.
Y'all familiar with the 1619 project?
No.
This nigga.
I'm throwing it out. I'm throwing that out as a reference because I want people to go and Google that 1619 project.
Yeah.
So there's a book to it as well.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell y'all what it is. I want you to just Google it. Use your 1619 project.
Okay.
Yeah.
Use your Google machine.
Yeah, it's some good stuff.
Yeah, it really is.
It's some really good stuff.
We'll bring it full circle to CRT.
I was just about to say, like, that's why we're having the CRT conversation now, the critical race theory situation.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
Because of that project, it kind of spawned, the movement kind of spawned out of that.
Mm-hmm. And this time of year, people start talking about Thanksgiving versus Colonizer Day, blah 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 blah, and it's like, yo, let's get it all on the forefront.
Yeah.
So, 1619 project, that's a good start right there for you.
Critical race theory. Go ahead. Before I get upset.
Are you gonna swallow your words on this one? Because I can tell that there's some passion behind.
I'm gonna keep it 30 seconds or less here, right?
All right, let's go.
Supreme Court, obviously hearing the abortion case, right?
Roe v. Wade.
And so people are talking about the Supreme Court overturning precedent or previously settled case law and things like that. And for whatever reason, everybody wanted to bring up Dred Scott today, and I'm like, so we can talk about Dred Scott, but we can't talk about critical race theory.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, pick and choose. This is why, for everybody out there that enjoys social media, you really got to understand the things that they're throwing at you. You really got to understand the motives and the purpose of the conversation of the things that are trending and when they're trending and why they're trending. You know what I mean? Like, for them to talk about Dred Scott now, as if, oh, well, you know, the Supreme Court righted this egregious injustice. I'm like, y'all been protesting against black people consistently. Now we're bringing up Dred Scott, like, oh, thank God they got that one right. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so they brought up that. They brought up, you know, Brown versus Board of Education or whatever, because, again, whenever something happens, you know, in the world today and somebody's inconvenienced, they always want to frame that against slavery. You know what I'm saying? It's exhausting, bro. Like, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of everything having... Nobody brought up Citizens United. When we talked about Supreme Court overturning stuff, right? It was all Brown versus Board and Dred Scott. Nobody brought up the Citizens. And if you don't know what Citizens United ruling is, please go look at it, and you'll understand why the money and the dark money is in our politics the way it is right now. That it wasn't before, right? But nobody brought that case up, and it's purposeful, right? That's to shape the narrative of how we're going to talk about what the Supreme Court is doing in reference to Roe v. Wade. That's all I wanted to say about it.
Thank you.
That's all I wanted to say about
it. Thank you for putting that succinctly, right?
Yeah.
If you didn't follow him on B. Davis Project, that was all on Twitter for you to actually listen.
It really is. It really is. This is what B does all day, every day.
All he does.
Do we want to... That's all?
Episode 4.
You looked it up.
I did look it up.
Why would you want to bring that back up?
Because you took it off now. People must know.
Go ahead.
Are we still married? That was the title of it.
Yeah, that was the title of it.
It was actually a great episode. I don't know why you took it off.
It was. No, it was all right.
No, it was good.
It was all right.
I mean, we didn't have the sound quality, but it was still good topics.
Yeah, there was stuff in there.
There was stuff.
There was stuff.
Yeah.
I'll leave it like that.
Of course, there was stuff people need to hear.
What's the next topic, bro?
Yeah, I gotta bring it back to Kyle Rittenhouse.
Oh, back on this.
Another little blip in his story.
Yeah.
I guess recently he enrolled into Arizona State University. It might even have been just online, and somehow
he's not here for him.
Yeah, somehow he was found out, and there was some student protest about him, you know, being a part of the school, being a student,
right?
Which ultimately led to him being removed from being a student at the school, or at least taking a temporary leave.
Was that his choice, or did the school unenroll him?
So I'm not going to say that I know. I'm 100% familiar with the details.
Okay.
All right. And here we go, because my issue is that is this a cancel culture item?
No.
Is that what this is?
No.
This is not cancel culture.
He's not canceled.
I'm not saying is he canceled.
No,
I'm asking is this one of the pull down tickets in the deli of cancel culture?
This is, I mean, I guess really kind of depends on why he is no longer enrolled, if he's no longer enrolled, right? If he chose to not be enrolled, then that's one thing. If Arizona State decided that they didn't want him there, that's a whole different situation.
They said the students, I think they said, were like
protesting.
Those different groups of students. It was basically they have a caucus. I'm trying to think of there's 3 different groups, and they're all minority groups that actually led the protests against Kyle Rittenhouse being enrolled into ASU.
Come on.
I was trying to think, like I said it to you guys, like it's very layered to the story. For one, you know, it's almost, for what you can say, for like a proud moment for believing in the youth of our country in some aspects, to hold accountability to a justice system, to have an individual be held accountable. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't deny the fact that this person took lives. You know, in which case the justice system just got skewed in his favor. But holding someone accountable to that, and again, a lot of people are just using this simple thing, is like, we don't want that on our campus. We don't feel safe with this person on campus, and rightfully so. You know what I mean? Like, how would anybody feel safe with a person who is openly committed murder? And
do we know what the admission amount, the number of people who are actually enrolled in Arizona State University?
I don't know.
Yeah, if we had to guess, right? If we had to ballpark it, you know, between online and physically on campus, I mean, maybe 20K, right? If we can ballpark it, maybe something like that.
ASU is known for the party school.
So my question is, do we know the background history of every student there?
Of course not.
No, of course.
Right? We don't know the background. We don't know the background
But we know
history.
his. That's all they worried about.
All right. So here's where you're absolutely right, and I'm so glad you said that. We do know his, and because of that, now he can be blackballed from things that everyday students can participate in. Right.
I wouldn't say blackball.
I mean, they protested to the point where he's no longer enrolled, or he's temporarily unenrolled.
Yeah, but
or whatever.
that's not black. Like again, blackballed is, for lack of a better, I guess, example, is Kaepernick, who did zero. He did nothing to hurt anybody, and he was standing for a belief in an equal justice system. And that he was held out of the NFL since.
I'm telling you that this is a slippery slope.
It is. But what I'm saying is, again, it's not anything that you cannot physically see this person.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The court of law found him to be not guilty.
Okay.
Right? Just because the court of public opinion feels differently, and whether that's justified or not, the court of law found him to be not guilty.
So if the school were the people rather to make the determination of not enrolling this person because they understand it's going to affect enrollment thereafter,
the school made a business decision. Is what you're saying, right?
If they were the ones responsible for it.
And once again, like I said, it's a slippery slope and it's a daring precedent to set. That's where I'm going with this.
Yep.
All right.
Precedent
now,
for who?
For the school and for education in general,
and for anybody else who's been accused of a crime.
Yes.
Like that, because that's the thing. Like we saw Kyle Rittenhouse in 4K, right? And that's why people are taking the stand that they're taking the stand of. But what happens when this trickles down to anybody that has charges?
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? Like having a charge shouldn't necessarily prevent you from going to school. You know what I mean? And it's bad enough that like if you're a kid that has a drug charge or something like that, you can't get financial aid, federal financial aid.
Sure enough, can't.
You understand what I'm saying? That's tough enough. You would think those are the people that need the financial aid. Those are the people that you want to go to school and say, hey, you're out here in the streets doing what you're doing. Nah, go get this education, bro. You see what I mean?
And I'm not trying to realize right now. Like I'm trying to understand the slippery slope we're talking about here. Is it because we're saying that a justice system voted on left or right on a situation, and we're holding them accountable based on what we know to be true?
We're not holding them accountable.
I'm just saying like the context we're talking about.
No, what we're saying is that while students are permitted to protest essentially anything they want to protest,
correct,
right?
Yes.
If you're Arizona State University or any other organization or whatever, and you allow for those protests to disqualify somebody who was otherwise eligible to be a student that you found to be appropriate as a student, that's the precedent that I'm saying. That's the precedent that's the slippery slope, because now anytime a group of people just don't like somebody, or anytime it doesn't even matter. They can just start doing that towards anybody at this point. You're discriminating at that point.
Yeah, but we're also talking Arizona State, which is in the middle of one of the most red states there is.
You can take Arizona State out of it, and you can just put any.
I get that, but I don't think it's
school there.
See, I don't think it is, because again, this is not based on the outcome of his case. This is based on the fact that we know what he did. Okay, and I think because we know what he did, people don't feel safe. Plain and simple. Because
he's an online student. What's there not to feel? He's not on campus, bro. He was online.
It doesn't matter what he is.
So how do you not feel safe with a motherfucker in their living room on their computer and I'm in Arizona? Like, what is the safety concern?
He gonna cyberbully you?
Exactly, bro.
Listen.
You gonna show up on your IG page with an attitude? Like,
he has access to the school.
But he's not at the school. That's what I'm saying.
He has access to the school.
Motherfuckers got access everywhere, bro. There's people out here all the time walking around with guns that got bad attitudes and bad intentions. When you walk outside, are you saying you don't feel safe to walk outside?
On a school campus, you have access to a school. You have access to every part of the location.
Okay, and?
So if you have access to that, knowing this guy's crossing state lines, who's to say something doesn't pop off online and he's like, I don't like that guy? Who's to say? I'm just saying, example. Not saying it's true.
I understand.
All I'm saying is he has access to everything. So regardless of how these students may or may not feel, bottom line is he has access to them further than he would if he was sitting home not. You see what I'm saying? When you have access to it, it's like saying, I have a key to your home. And you know what I did. And I'm armed. I can come to you at any time.
Right.
I'm a flight away or a drive away. It doesn't matter. Bottom line is I can be at your doorstep tomorrow if I don't like you.
And my mama gonna bring me.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter if he's online or not. Bottom line is the safety. These students did not feel safe knowing that they have someone who is capable of what he did.
So you're siding with the students on this one.
Go ahead.
You're siding with the students.
Absolutely.
This is why people call young millennial liberals snowflakes. Like, this is why. Like, I'm not saying that you're wrong, right? And I'm not saying that there couldn't be at least somewhat of an elevated point of concern that, hey, this person could come here and do a thing if they felt a way, right? But I don't necessarily think that that is in any way bigger than what he could have done if he felt like it anyway. Remember, he didn't live in a town where he was shooting people. You know what I'm saying? He had to travel there regardless. You see what I'm saying? So if that's what people choose to do, like if people are going to get up and travel somewhere to be armed and cause a disturbance, they're going to do that regardless of whether they're invited or not. You know what I mean? So he doesn't have to be a student. Like, bro, look at any of these campuses around here. You can walk right in the front door. You walk right in the front door. We ain't got no private campuses around here. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, if he wanted to show up and start shooting folks, bro, he could have done that regardless.
I guess, and this is where I'm gonna throw my 2 cents in as well. So the college atmosphere, like, you can walk, like B just said, you can walk into a college campus.
Yeah.
Right. And you don't know what students are there and what their history is at all. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that the student base knows of Kyle Rittenhouse and that they decided to what do you call that? They decided to mobilize and an effort that they felt like, or for reasons that they felt were appropriate.
Sure.
That's their right to do.
Absolutely.
My point is that for the school, for Arizona State, I think that there's some responsibility and some onus on them to look at this from a standpoint of he's still an eligible candidate to be a student.
Well, they did, and he still has the ability to reapply.
I get it, and so I guess my point is for that. Then they need to come out. They need to have some kind of statement, something. I'm not caping for Kyle Rittenhouse. I'm not worried about Kyle Rittenhouse.
Nah.
I'm thinking about the other students all across the country who may have a juvenile record or anything like that, or that can get turned down, or their information can be found out, and the same thing can happen to them.
Exactly. That's
what I'm concerned about. That's what I'm factoring in here.
Right.
And like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be Arizona State University, and it doesn't necessarily have to be Kyle Rittenhouse. This just happens to be the story that it is right now.
Right.
But when you look at it on a larger scale, it's not just about those two parties.
No,
it's the principle behind what's happening.
That's what I was saying. This has so many layers to it that it's hard to. It's the first that we've seen in our day of its kind.
If you're a student at Arizona State University right now, and you feel like the school allowing Kyle Rittenhouse to come in and be a student, whether it's online or on campus, and you have a problem with that, fine. But here's another suggestion. Because if I'm Arizona State, if I'm the president or whatever, I'm on the board or whatever they call their thing there, right? Their governmental oversight party.
Right.
I'm not allowing these protests to turn away eligible students. You as a student, if you opt to transfer somewhere else, that's your right. You're well within your right to do that. But we can't get in the business of just turning away students because people are protesting against them. We just can't do that.
Meeks, how you feel about this?
I got you.
Yeah.
I know.
That's how you feel?
I know, right?
Yeah, I'm just like...
That's how you feel? No, listen, I think if we're gonna go down this path, right, then now you have to do this equitably across everyone that applies, right? So you have to look at the reason as to why he's not being allowed to enroll or why he isn't there. If the issue is that, ASU said we don't want this guy here, then that has to be defined as a why you don't want that student there, and then that has to be applied to everyone that applies to your school going forward. You know what I'm saying? It has to be applied equally. But like I said, is that necessarily the cure-all for the ails of young people in general that we want to impose on them? You You screw up when you're 14, that's it. Your life is over because you can't go to school. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure there's an extenuating circumstance in there where this is more than valid, right? I just don't know if this is necessarily the hill that I would die on for this type of thing. Like, and to be honest, even when, you know, as a matter of fact, it's Halloween, so it probably just happened, you know, a few weeks ago, right? That somebody on a college campus somewhere was throwing a party in blackface because it happens every year, right? And then somebody gets kicked out of a school every year for it. You know what I'm saying? And and I don't, like, I gotta be honest, I don't know how I really feel.
No, you know how you feel because it's causing you to be ambivalent about it. And if you're not certain about, go ahead, my bad. I cut you off. My bad.
No, I mean, I know, I understand where you're going there, but here's the thing: I don't like the action that's committed. Right? I don't like every Halloween you see somebody having a blackface party again and then claiming, "Oh, we had no idea this was offensive." You know what I'm saying? At the same time, I don't necessarily know if kicking them out of school is the way to go about rectifying the situation.
It's not. Make them take some FM studies classes.
You understand
you feel
what
me?
I'm saying?
Make them sit down with Dr. Fisher and Dr. Ivory and let them hear about the slave trade. You feel me?
And that might honestly be it. Like, I just don't know if that actually remediates the situation. Like, does this make anything better? Was there anything learned from this? You know what I'm saying? Like, was there any knowledge gained? Was there any enlightenment that occurred? And if those things aren't happening in these situations, then, like, what are we doing?
Exactly. I agree.
Like, the only people that are getting canceled are regular people, right? Cancel culture is not real, number one, right? The people we want to see canceled, the people that are in power, the people that actually can make rules, the people that are making legislation, the people that have dominion over your everyday lives, those people get off scot-free. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, Kyle Rittenhouse is an outlier on the list of people who aren't really the fucking problem, even though he's still partially the fucking problem. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But he's the outlier on that list. But the fact is, when it comes to some random 18-year-old having a blackface party, they're not really the fucking problem. What they're doing is regrettable. It's ignorant. It shouldn't happen. But they're not really the problem. We're not canceling the problem. All we're doing is making lives harder on regular people, because regular people can't go out here and actually have real conversation. We can't go out and really get into it with people in public discourse anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because before you even get to that point, you're getting shamed now, right? Or someone saying, "Oh, you can't say that. Oh, you can't do that." You know what I mean? Regular people can do that. People who are in power, they don't give a fuck about this conversation, bro. You understand? They are sitting in their cigar lounge, saying whatever the fuck they want to say to whoever wants to hear it. Plain and simple. They are not concerned with your pronouns. They're not concerned with your equal rights. They're not concerned. I was
going to say that's kind of where this all ties in. I was just about to say.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, we are burdening ourselves with being concerned about this to the point of a faux cancellation. Not that these things don't matter, right? But we're not applying them to the people that we actually want them to be applied to.
Now, wait, before I move on, does anybody else have anything they want to add to this? Me, SO? All right. So this is the exact type of conversation that would disqualify B from being my wingman.
How do you segue into that?
Bro, I'm not having this conversation when I'm in wingman duties, bro.
I feel
I'm not bringing this up.
I feel like this is exactly what you're going to be talking about.
This is what I talk about when it's us three dudes, and now us three dudes and Megan. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I talk about.
I just kind of feel like I could see you sitting at the bar, drinking your vodka and cran, talking about why you want to see the world burn.
Oh God. I be talking about that new Doja Cat joint.
Instead of
that's what I'm talking
you know what I mean? Instead of courting the party that's here.
That new Whiz Kid. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
you heard the voice change and everything.
Yeah.
That means he's almost done.
Yeah, B's good in any setting.
Yeah,
he's good in any setting.
Facts.
But this is going to be the last topic of the evening.
Yeah,
this is going to be the last topic of the evening.
Okay.
You need a wingman, bro?
I don't need a wingman, but I just want to talk about this kind of like in jest a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Now let's talk about of the four of us sitting up here on this platform.
Yeah.
Who do you guys think would be the best wingman? Does anybody know what a wingman is? We all know what a wingman is, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking down the table.
Yeah.
I'm looking down the table at me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why me?
Now I'm because you know why? I'm gonna tell you why.
Like
because
automatically.
Yeah, facts.
Because I the way that I know how you can carry a conversation that's not going to be A, offensive, B, boring. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, and then on top of it, like I feel like you would understand how to play your position.
Yeah.
To the point where you're not going to talk us out of a good night. You feel me? Like you're not going to talk us out of a good night.
He said us.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like collectively.
It's a group effort.
Yeah,
gotcha.
it's a group effort. I think I feel like for in order to be a good wingman, you have to understand that you are and you're playing the background. You're an outfielder. You're not a pitcher. Mm-hmm. You feel me?
Why is he looking down at me?
Because you're not a good wingman. He's loosely telling you that. He's loosely telling you.
I'm not loosely telling him at all.
Oh, he's telling you. I'll tell you you're not a good wingman.
I've told him to his face. I've told him via text. I've sent carrier pigeons.
Oh, Lord. He said, this dude said slide that
Every
your
social media
camera.
platform out there, this dude sent me a reminder. You're terrible at it.
Oh, God.
What are you talking about?
But the reason, all right, so here's my take. The reason I say Essa, I think Essa wouldn't be a good wingman. Number one is because he's got to be too much of an alpha, too much of a lead dog. And this is because I know this guy. I know that he's too much of a lead dog to be able to play the background. You know what I mean? Because
he be pulling JT.
Boom, there it is.
Shot brother going wrong.
There it is. He gonna jump in the limelight like, hey.
Yeah, so you gonna take this, bro? You just gonna let him slander you like this, man?
I'm finished, then I'm gonna jump.
You gonna let me finish? You gonna steal my microphone? You feel me?
Right.
And I can't and in order to be a good wingman, you can't steal the lead man's mic. You just can't do that. So I'm letting you know, bro. If that situation ever came up for me, you're not gonna be my wingman.
Okay.
You're my homie, but I ain't calling you up.
Can we
always calling me up? Stop playing. There's never been an instance where you've never called me up.
Babe, what were you gonna say, Ben?
Can we all agree that women make the best?
Absolutely, 100%.
Absolutely,
100%. No doubt about it.
What's up, me?
Shout out to Type A.
Yeah. All of y'all. Now for real though, because like y'all already know you're not what's the word? You're not like a threat. You feel me? That's why
women are the buffer for men. Mm-hmm. It's the approachability that allows. It's the comfort zone. It's the bridge between other women to see. So it's kind of the unspoken olive branch, you know. Of course, if the guy knows how to play it right, you know, if he's an asshole to you, they're gonna be like, yeah, nah, we're not messing with that. But it's you know, you see us in conversation, you know, and women see that and they say, oh, he's fun to be around. She's talking to him, and you know. That whole thing just starts, and you go, oh no, it's just a friend of mine, how that works, and then how you all do. One thing leads to another. But I mean, it's just an easier way to, I was going to say, cross enemy lines, but.
Yo, is this warfare?
It's warfare. You know it's warfare.
This is warfare?
Bro,
Call of Duty type shit, bro? Like, this is what we got to do.
We're sending her in. But no, I mean, it's a lot easier to approach when you are in a comfort zone with other people. Mm-hmm. It's completely different when you're with a bunch of guys, obviously. So the wingman with men is a different approach. For one, this is the second time he's called me an alpha on his podcast, and I never once had self-proclaimed that. So again, thank you for that. Third, sometimes you have to serve to lead, sir. So I'm just saying. Bro, I can be the perfect wingman. The reason is because I understand the positions very well. Okay. Now, the other point I'll make is if whoever it is that, let's say, said person is bringing. Let's just use you for an example because put me out there. Let's say you're meeting somebody. You're like, yo, you want to come through? I got somebody meeting. She's bringing a friend. I need somebody to come rock with me for a second, whatever. I need a wingman. Fine, I'm going. If that chick you're supposed to be meeting is not into you, she was never into you. If you feel the wingman is going to be the person that is going to take her from you.
And
wait, hold
enter
on.
and big. Come on, big.
No.
Let's go.
Meeks, you're shaking your head. You're shaking your head, so I can tell you have some thoughts.
What's wingman etiquette? Wingman 101.
Yeah.
Wingman 101.
Let us know.
Because you heard what Esso just said, right? If that chick's not into you, she for the streets. That's essentially what he just said.
If she still thinks she has options,
you heard that, right?
She's meeting somebody. Why would she be interested in who the other guy is?
And when somebody for the streets, what that mean then? What that mean?
You're two other friends for that one.
That anybody else can jump in.
Yeah.
But your wingman will not.
That's wingman 101 that's exactly correct.
Yeah, I'm not jumping in.
Like I said, I
But how do you know? How do you know that she's not into him?
Yo, we talking hypothetical real quick. Let me put that out there. This is hypothetical.
Hypothetically, of course. But how do you know if you're a good wingman? How would you know that? Unless you're like, are you talking too much so that you can kind of tell that she's not really into him?
If his fear is that I'd be a terrible wingman, it's not me you're asking. Ask him that.
Wait, what was the question?
Because he said the girl, if she's not into you or something like with the options or whatever. And I said, well, if you're a good wingman, how do you know that? Are you talking a lot?
See, this
between them two?
Let's
or
go,
are
babe.
you...
Let's go, babe.
Because here's the thing: if you're being a good wingman, you're supposed to be hyping your boy up
Boom.
in the first place.
Boom.
You're supposed to be quelling the fears. There should never be she's not that. Nah, bro. My job is to make sure she's in there.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah,
my friend is taken care of.
I'm Brian Westbrook. You John Runyon, bro. You supposed to be pushing me across that goal line, fam.
Esso said no. If I'm a wingman because she brought a friend, I'm keeping her busy. That's what.
This is why he's not going to make a good wingman.
Because you got to multitask.
You don't need to be hyped up to a woman you're already meeting who's bringing her friend. You did all that yourself. This is not like us out already, and then we're trying to find people out there. That's different. That's a.
I really hold on real quick because I know this is towards the end of the pod.
Yeah.
But for the YouTube crowd, please drop your comments on wingman etiquette.
Yeah.
Please, because I don't think Esso is truly understanding what he's saying here.
He doesn't.
You feel me?
Have you ever played a wingman?
Yes.
Have you ever been my spotter?
We said wingman, bro. We said wingman.
Spotter.
I've been a wingman. A spotter is different from a wingman.
Okay.
A spotter is different from a wingman.
One and the same.
All right, because no, not one and the same. Let's break it down real quick. So now the terminology, Megan, you can if you need to, step away on whatever on this conversation. But no, because we here now. So listen, a spotter is different from a wingman in that a spotter is one of the people who can scope out a situation, scope out, see what's going on, and point the sniper in the direction of where to shoot. Right? If you're a wingman, you're not shooting into a crowd. You're not aiming 400 yards down the field.
Nah.
You're not.
No, I know that.
We right here on the same field.
Right.
You feel me? Like that's what the difference is. So a spotter versus a wingman.
So my question is, are you afraid to bring me?
Don't ask me if I'm afraid. Don't ask me if I'm afraid.
As your wingman because of me or because of the
No,
others?
no, because you're a horrible wingman.
Oh, how do you know that?
Because the way that you're answering these questions.
You don't trust me.
I don't trust you.
Wow.
The way that you're answering these questions. No, real quick. Platonically, I love you. You my dude. I don't trust you at all, bro. Because you're gonna make we're not in the pod. No, we still going. We still going because you're gonna
Stay
make
away from my bitch.
Yeah, he's gonna make an assessment. Yo, pretty much. He's gonna make an assessment. 10 minutes in, yo, she not feeling you, bro. Back. I got this. Back. That's what's gonna happen.
He gonna have this little kid throw mine in the ring.
That's what's gonna happen, yo. And then at the end of the night, I'm gonna have to fight my man.
Not back though.
Back. I got this. He's gonna be like, watch me work. And I'm like, yeah, nah, we're not doing
this. I feel like he plays this out in his head over.
We're not doing this. Because just because you know it's true, don't listen.
There's no evidence for atheism.
All right, so we're in the episode.
Okay.
Meg, Thank you for withstanding our shenanigans, and our tomfoolery over here.
Okay.
I hope you decide to come back again. I really do, because I know we just kind of like flow back and forth between topics and stuff.
Yeah, no.
But now we need you here. I need you to understand we need you here. All right. So just know you're welcome anytime.
Oh.
B.
Yo.
Thank you for your insight.
My long-windedness.
Nah.
My going off on tangents. I'm sorry.
Not your insight.
Political views.
Thank you for the verbal banter, the back and forth. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? I needed this today. I did.
Just not as a wingman.
You know who's not a wingman? The two other homies.
So, this is Julius and Murph. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. As I say every episode, all of our social media handles are in the details of the episode. We got to get you a Twitter account.
Facts, yo. For real.
We got.
I need to know.
Yeah, we got to get your social media handles.
Because I had to ask them how I had to at you in real life. Because I was like, I don't know how to do this. Because you weren't on Twitter.
Wingman would have known.
Yeah. One of us would have known. Yeah. You on the other hand.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Oh, that's Julius. He knows all that.
All right, we're good. This is it. Episode 59 is a wrap. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you for tapping in. Continue to look for the audio individuals every week. We are on YouTube now, so like I said, any comments, remember to subscribe, like, share, all of those things. Any platform that you listen to the podcast on, tell your friend, tell your cousin, tell your auntie. Just don't let them know about this man right here.
Okay.
This is Julius and Murph signing out. Peace.